Hi everyone, Tori here with another scrapbooking process video. This one is called All of My Stars. I'm using this pink paper with I guess it's pink and orange and white paper. It came from the Studio Calico Odyssey kit this month and I really loved it. To be honest, it's the only paper in the scrapbooking kit that I really loved. But, the reason I loved it is because it's pink. But it also had orange, which I'm not crazy about orange, and it was super bright. So today I'm using it on my layout, and I decided that I wanted to mute it a little bit. So I am using some white gesso just to add a fine coat of like white gesso across the page. I'm also using a baby wipe to spread it out, and it really just tones it down so it's not as bright. And I've added that all over the entire page. And I'm also going to be doing some mixed media on this layout, and the gesso just helps it so that it doesn't sink through. And just prime the page and get it all ready for what I want to do. I'm also going to be using two photos, which I haven't shown you yet, but I'll show you in a little while. One photo is a photo of my grandmother and my sister and I, and just standing outside of her bedroom door. And the other one is a photo of this wreath that my sister and I made for my grandma. So I'm using pink because the photo has some pink in it, and I really love the way that it works out here. I also decided to use some modeling paste just to add a little dimension to the layout. I'm using this Heidi Swap stencil and some just regular old modeling paste. I think it's by Golden. And I don't have any of those fancy-dancy scraper palette knife thingies. I'm just using a piece of cardstock. And I just grabbed some of the modeling paste and I'm adding it all around the page. I sort of added it in 3 places, but just around the page. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with the page. I just wanted to add that dimension on there. Now when I make pages and I make process videos, I usually know which photo I want to use and which paper, but I don't necessarily have a plan for the project yet. That happens organically when you see it happen on the screen. So I'm using this pink paper, and on the back it had a white page with little black polka dots, and I really loved it. So I really wanted to find a way that I could use both on the layout at the same time. So I decide the way that I'm going to do that is by cutting off 1.5 or 2 inch strip of paper from the layout. That way I can mat it, but I can also have a strip of that polka dot paper. So the kit this month came with a piece of craft cardstock, and I think it goes really well with the pink, so I'm going to be using that as the mat for my page. I decided that in order to bring all the different layers together and to just sort of go with the distressed sort of background that I have going on, I'm going to ink up all of the edges, and I am using a black StazOn ink pad to do that, and I'm just adding black ink around all of the different layers, the cardstock, the pattern paper, and the pattern paper that I had cut off. So I really wanted to mat my 2 photos with that craft cardstock as well. So I'm going to use some double-sided Express It double-sided tape to just adhere those photos to the middle of the cardstock, and then I'm going to use my craft knife and cut around it. And I'm doing that just so I can get a little mat around my photo, but also that I'm not wasting the paper. It's like gutting it. I'm just gutting the amount that I need. And then I'm going to adhere my patterned paper to the craft cardstock, and I'll adhere the stripe of polka dot down the middle as well. Now, in the last video, I mentioned that I've been struggling with how to use this kit because I don't love it. So what you're going to see me do on this layout is mix things from the kit with things from my stash. And the reason I'm doing that is just because if I don't love what's in the kit, then maybe mixing some things that I do love, like doilies and papers and embellishments, will help me love it more. So I'll let you know when I add something that's not from the kit, and I'll hopefully be able to link those up for you below if I can. So what I'm going to be doing on this layout is I am going to be inking all of the edges of everything, or mostly everything, just to keep that consistent throughout the layout. So I decided that I wanted to add that strip of polka dot paper to the middle of the page and have one photo above it and one photo below it, and sort of make my cluster of embellishments all around the page. Now, one thing that I really love is doilies. And I have them in all different colors and sizes, and people send me their doilies because I love them so much. So I decided on this layout because it was super girly and pink and pretty, and a layout about my grandma. I wanted to use doilies, so I have these pink doilies that I believe my friend Sophie sent to me. I can't remember. I think it was you, Sophie, so if it is, shout out. If it wasn't you, Sophie, sorry, and shout out to whoever sent it to me. And I'm going to use those on the page, and I decided to use them, or use two of them and cut them up so that they would fit all along that border strip that I placed. And I really love how they just add a little extra dimension. They're really pretty, and they just look happy. So while I'm doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about the photos. My sister and I made this heart-shaped wreath for my grandmother. My grandma moved into a new nursing home, and it just didn't look like home, and it was pretty stark. It's more of a medical center because she has Alzheimer's, but we're allowed to decorate her room, and we really wanted her to feel at home. So we decided to make her a wreath with her name on it so that she would remember that's her door. And we used her favorite colors, which were pink and blue, and used music notes and a little bird, and just went with that on the page. And she really loved it, although like 5 minutes later she couldn't remember that it was from us. But I mean, it's the thought that counts, right? And she did love it when she saw it. So I'm making this layout about that experience. Now, the layout is mostly pinks, but there is some blue in the wreath that we made for her, so I wanted to use a little bit of blue on the layout as well. And this pattern paper had a blue and white polka dot a banner strip on it, or a, what do you call it? A manufacturer strip. And I had originally cut it off at the beginning of the page, but then as I was going and decided I wanted to add blue, I thought, oh, that's perfect. I'll just use that strip, and it'll be the perfect little blue element on the page too. And I'm not going to use a ton of blue. I'm going to use a little bit, but this strip just adds a nice definition on the page as well. And I'm just going to stick that in the middle of my black and white polka dot strip as a way to just add that extra blue dimension. And I'm using my hot glue gun here today, which is my favorite way to adhere things. It's cheap, it's easy, it's fast, and I just love my hot glue gun. I use it on almost every layout I'm sure you've seen, and I go through a lot of hot glue sticks. So I just wanted to mention, because I don't think I've mentioned this before, at the local Walmart near me, they sell packs of like 250 hot glue sticks, and I just use those in my hot glue gun, and it works perfectly. Oh, and if you're wondering, I have no clue if this is a hot or cool or what temperature this hot glue gun is. It is just a cheap, made in Taiwan glue gun that I just love, and it's one of probably 4 or 5 glue guns that I have. I have a lot of glue guns because I love them. And you never know when your glue gun could just not work and you need another one. Or when you're going to be called to do a craft project for your kid's Sunday school, for a Sunday school class, and you're going to need more than one glue gun, right? I don't know, maybe I'm just strange. But a glue gun is one thing that I can't live without. And right now I'm down to about, I don't know, 50 glue sticks, and I'm like starting to have panic attacks. Like I'm afraid I'm going to be working on a page and run out of glue sticks. I mean, I have 50, but you never know. Maybe I'll do a page where I need 50 glue sticks and I'll run out, and then I don't know what I'll do. So I'm sure this week I'm going to go buy another pack of those glue sticks because I just like to have lots so that I don't have to freak out that I'm going to run out of glue. So I guess now I've moved on to the embellishment phase of this layout. I decided to use 2 cards sort of as a basis for my embellishments. And I used this one card that has a camera pattern on it. And it's super cute. And I decided to trim around the camera and place that to the left of the photos. And then I grabbed this other card that had a heart. And it says, you are my sun, my moon, and all of my stars. And I trimmed that down, and I'm going to stick that to the right of the photos. And I'm also going to just ink the edges so that it looks like it fits in really well. And then all of my embellishments are going to be around the photos and around those 2 larger elements. And I think I'll also probably create a 3rd embellishment cluster at the top. I don't know, something about this rule of thirds. It just looks good too. So that's why I'm using 3 embellishments. And I'm not really going to have a title on this page just because I didn't feel like there was room and I didn't really have a title that I wanted to use. So I guess my title is going to be that Project Life card that says, you are all of my stars. I thought it was cute. And the heart on it sort of matches the wreath, which was also in the shape of a heart. So I thought it just ties that heart element in and it looks cute. So next I'm going to grab some embellishments to just tuck in underneath those layers and add some extra embellishment and layers. I totally love these ephemera packs or ephemera kits, or I don't know what you call them, ephemera packages. My favorite are the Dear Lizzie ones or the Maggie Holmes scrape paper ones. Oh, I love them. I wish I could have every single one. But I'm using a whole bunch of pieces from there for this kit. And I'm also using these vellum colored leaves that you can purchase at Studio Calico. I'm going to use a couple of them, a gold one and a silver one. And then I decided I wanted some butterflies on the layout. So I got these little blue vellum butterflies from my local scrapbook store. They make little embellishments that you can purchase, and I got like 5 or 6 of them for $1. And then I also wanted to add some flowers just because I thought they would be pretty. So I grabbed these white flowers. I believe they come from Prima. Oh, yep, they come from Prima. There's the box. And I think you're supposed to mist them or color them or paint them. But I didn't want to add any more color to the page. I really just wanted to add the texture of them, so I kept them white, or they're sort of like an off-white color, and I put some in all 3 of my embellishment clustered areas. Oh, and you can see that I started a new embellishment cluster in that top right-hand corner. I have a butterfly and some flowers in each embellishment cluster, and then also some other things. So in that top one, I grabbed a tag. Now I'm grabbing a piece of flair from the On Trend My Mind's Eye pack that came in the card kit this month. And I also grabbed another craft tag, a circle one, so that I could stamp the date on that. And then I'm going to ink the edges of all of my things, and then I believe I'm going to grab my glue gun and start gluing things down. Now the sad thing about this is that you build up all your layers and you love it, and then when you try to put it back together, it never works. So normally what I would do, and this is what I'm going to suggest you do, is take a picture and then try to copy the picture. The only problem is that I use my iPhone to film this process, so I don't have a way to film it. Sorry about that. My phone was making noises, so sorry. Okay, so what I was saying is I don't have a way to film it, so or to take a photo of what I'm doing, so I just have to sort of go from memory. And I think I'm pretty close. The only problem I found was that when I first made that layer, I didn't have this weird empty space just above that big right hand flower on the right hand embellishment, and that's going to drive me crazy. So I'm gonna have to try to find something to put in there or fill in that spot because I don't like that there is a space there. But meanwhile, I'll be sticking down the rest of the embellishments and just using my hot glue gun, and I think I managed to get it done okay. Although I probably should have moved that camera just a little bit to the left so it didn't cover so much of my sister up. But on the other hand, she had a sweater on that wasn't the right color for the layout, so I guess it worked well to cover it up. Well, that's horrible. So here I am. Here's this time where I'm trying to figure out how to cover up that weird empty space. I thought maybe another piece of ephemera or something, and that doesn't work. So then finally I decide to grab a piece of craft tag to put in there. Now unfortunately for me, my camera is going to die. And I'm not going to realize it. I'm going to finish the layout and add my journaling. So sorry about that, but the page is done, and I'll have some photos for you to take a look at. And thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting. Love you all. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye.